Alright, so hi guys. What's this? Another video where I am talking about the art that's in the video, and it's not just background footage. This is amazing. It's almost like it's two videos in a row. Unless you're new here. Hi. Name's TwistedDisaster, aka Michie. I like to do rambles, story time, speed draws, the works, in this event. So let's talk about the picture real quick, and then we're gonna get into the Pokemon story. And I also have very special news that I'm gonna talk about, like a little, when I can find a good breathing spot. So, all right, guys, this is another redraw. I know. I've been doing a lot of them recently, but I've been feeling really, really burnt out and inspired. No, not inspired. Instead of being inspired. I see. I already sound like a dumb. Anyway, I just did not feel like I was in a good spot. I was fighting a lot of burnout. I was fighting a lot of emotional stuff going on. I've been talking about that quite a bit for the past couple months. But it's all a learning curve. Like with a lot of my life and a lot of my art, I like to take experiences and learn from them. And now I've just learned that summers are going to be hard. Summers are going to be hard months for us, which is fine. Now I know, so next year I'll be prepared so I can, buffer away for that. Anyway, the new Pokemon's coming out, and I am not drawing fan art for that new game, like I should be, because that would make the algorithm like me much more, but I'm redrawing my very first Pokemon fan art. I used to trace the Pokemon coloring books as a kid, and I used to, try to draw Pokemon, and I always failed at it, and I never did it, which is why I need more practice now. But I remember my Pokemon story is a little bit different than most people's. And you know what? I think this is a good time to go into our sponsor. Yes, I have a sponsor. I am sponsored by the Chubby Eevee Kickstarter. The info will be in the description below. But if you guys like Eevees, and if you like enamel pins, and you like cute art, you should totally check this out. Thank you, Luna Cora Designs, for sponsoring this video and allowing me to help pimp out your Kickstarter in compensation for helping with this video. So, woo! I did it! I had my first, official sponsor that isn't, a review, so, sorry. I'm excited about that. Also, in the works, if you want to sponsor me in the future, please email my business email with proper business inquiries. Don't just ask for a shout out. Luna Cora did sponsor this video, and thank you so much. And I also really think these pins are freaking adorable and cute. So, all right, my Pokemon story. Let's get into this. So my Pokemon story is a little different than a lot of other people's. I didn't really grow up with the games. In fact, growing up, my brothers were really big into the games, and my brothers didn't want me to play the same games as they did. So they would, when I would sleep, they would purposely delete my files. And it would get to this point where the same thing kind of happened with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I used to like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, but I ended up being where my brothers were like, no, Yu-Gi-Oh's a boys thing, girls don't play that. It was a different time, guys. Okay, don't get super angry, because it was a very, very different time. And I just got to a point where I'm like, I wasted my allowance 3 times on this thing. I'm not doing it again, because it's not worth it. Especially when you don't have a lot of money, It's just not good. So what ended up happening was that happened about twice, and I got irritated. And I'm like, you know what? Not worth it. I'm not going to play it. I like the show, and that's about it. And I used to love the movies, too. I believe the last movie I saw in theaters was Pokemon Heroes? In theaters, the last one I saw was the one with Latios and Latios. And then, a few years later, after the movie had been out for a couple years, I saw the Jirachi movie, because it was on DVD. But that was kind of my Pokemon experience. And so what ended up happening was Black and White, the first ones, were coming out. And my brothers had always been hardcore Pokemon fans. They'd always played all the games. Everything was great. This one was for the DS. And I remember my mom ended up buying it for me as well. She bought me a copy and my brothers a copy. And I remember I had White because my legendary was Zekrom, I believe. It was the black one. I believe it was Zekrom, because I remember it was Zekrom and Rashrom, if I'm saying them right. I can never pronounce them right, and I haven't seen the movies, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing them wrong, guys. But I remember not being rude and being like, oh, well, thanks, Mom, for buying this game I don't play. Like a spoiled brat. I wasn't like that. I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. I haven't played them ever, and I played it. Oh, my God. I loved it. I fell in love. I thought it was great. In that game, too, I got my 2 favorite got my 2 favorite Pokies. I got Pumpkaboo and I got Chandelure, however you can say it. I always said Chandelure, and, you know, people corrected me, but I don't fucking care. And I was like, I love this game. I loved it. I loved Snivy as my starter. I loved the story. I had a blast. I loved the, I believe his name was N. It's been a long time since I played, but I remember what he looked like. It was the green-haired, you know, the rival guy. And I just, I loved it. So I remember after that being like super duper duper inspired, and I wanted to play the next one. And when they announced Black and White 2, I remember being like vibrating ready, and I did the fan art that I did the redraw of, which was just the fan art I originally did was the busts, and I'll stick it on screen. And I remember being like so proud of this because, oh my god, do I hate the hairstyles in this game. I hate the hairstyles in this game. I know Pokemon hairstyles are weird, but I don't know what Nintendo was thinking. I got no idea what they were thinking with that. And so, oh my lord. What ended up happening with that was I was like, I'm a draw it. And I did it as originally I did it as a commission example back when I did $5 busts. So $5 for those monochromatic busts. I do not do those anymore. Do not ask. They will be ignored. Can't afford to do $5 busts anymore. Sorry. And so I remember like loving the idea of this like monochromatic, because it's black and white, with a splash of color, but I've always loved those. And so I remember being like, I want to redraw this, but I don't want to just do a bust again, because that's all I've been doing is I've been redrawing busts and busts and busts and busts. And I've also, with Patreon and my commissions currently, I've been working on busts and chibis, which I am working on. But it's one of those things when you do so many of them, you get kind of burnt out on. So I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to turn this into a print. And I will have these at San Japan, but if anybody's interested, because I do love how this came out. And I was super inspired with this that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make a series out of this. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get the whole series done by the time San Japan's done. I'm only going to have that one done, but I will have the other prints up in my store once Anime Impulse rolls around back in like January, so it gives me more than enough time. But I loved the idea of just, you know, having these the two main pro tags, the male and the female versions, just, you know, going at it and having some fun with their like splash of color in it. And let's talk about the game though, because I remember when I originally played it, when I got it, I overhyped myself, and this is the first time that overhype hurt a game for me, because I remember, oh my god, I was so happy that the what's her name, Iris, I remember her name was Iris, the dragon girl. I remember that she went from being an Elite Four member to now she was the champion. And I remember being like, oh, Iris, you grew up. You look so cute now. And I remember I did a fan art of her too. I believe her name was Roxy, and she was the poison gym leader for that one. And I think this is the one that I have the badges for, because I do have a set of enamel pin badges. But I was so hyped for this game. And I kind of like let my expectations get the better of me. And it's been a long time since I've played Black and White 2, so I think I will go back and I will replay it just when I have free time, obviously, just to, like, you know, see maybe if it is better than I thought it was, because I let the hype kill it for me, because I've let a lot of things do that for me, and it's not that much fun, you know. I know that's a big reason why there are some people who, like, never got into Pokemon, who are like, the hype's too real, I'm not gonna like it. And it's like, yeah, so, you know, I felt the same way about Legend of Zelda too, so I kind of stayed away from things, because I'm like, it's gonna be so hyped that when I play it, it's not gonna reach the expectations I expect. But I've also learned that with time and, you know, lowering your expectations and not dumbing them down, this is a very different thing. Lowering your expectations isn't the same as, like, shutting your brain off. I always hate when people use that excuse. Like, you should shut your brain off and enjoy it. Well, yes, obviously there's some movies that aren't going to be as emotionally stimulating as others. There are some that are very, you know, fun and important. And so, anyway, I'm going on another ramble. So, there's my little Pokemon story, my Pokemon adventure, because since I got through Black and White 1, I've played every Pokemon game since. I haven't played a lot of the classics. I did play Soul Silver, and Soul Silver was fun. I technically did not beat Alpha Sapphire, because I gave it to my Hubbins to play, and it's lost in the ether now, so I never technically got to finish that one. But, alright. I'm rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed the speed paint, and as always, guys, Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!